Nobody truly realizes how easy newborn sleep is until you have a toddler. If you have found your way to me, you have a toddler who is really struggling with their sleep and around the age of 18 months old. I am going to teach you all about the 18-month sleep regression, signs of it, symptoms, how to manage it, and how to get over it. Let's get right into it. Hi, my name is Sarah, and as the certified pediatric sleep expert at Your Zen Baby Sleep, I have helped over 500 families one-on-one and thousands of families worldwide from my group coaching programs to get their sleep on track. And toddlers, I love them. They're so fun, and I promise that this is just a stage that we can get you through. If you're not new here, you have watched my other videos on the 4-month and 8-month sleep regression, and you know generally that I don't believe regressions are negative, even though the internet really brings a lot of fear regarding regressions. A regression just means that your child is developing and evolving appropriately and on time, and we need to respond to that by providing either different schedules or different ways that we're offering our child sleep. One of the biggest times that our child's sleep changes is around the 18-month mark. And I'm using 18 months as my title, and I'm using 18 months as the anchor, but you could be seeing signs of this regression 3 months earlier or even 3 months later than the 18-month mark. So if you're in the 15 to 21-month range, we're going to see a big shift in sleep behavior that is totally manageable that I want to help you through. Let's get the logistics done with first. If your child is 18 months and still taking 2 naps a day, you absolutely need to drop them to 1 nap per day. So a common cause of a sleep regression is simply the modification of a schedule. Your child doesn't need as much daytime sleep or needs to have their bedtime pushed slightly later, and the modification can take care of the regression completely. So this is your first step. If your child isn't napping once a day between 12 and 1 o'clock for about 2 to 3 hours, we need to drop to 1 nap a day. Signs that your child is ready to drop to 1 nap would include, number 1, refusing that morning or that afternoon nap, could be either one. Number 2, they could be taking 2 naps happily but going to bed very, very late. Or number 3, they could be waking up very early in the morning. Early morning wakings at this age are anything earlier than 6 a.m. Typical morning wakings for this age would be between 6 and 7 a.m. It is pretty common for most children to only be on 1 nap at this age, so I find that this regression isn't as much due to schedule changes as it is due to behavior. I want you to think about your child from a developmental standpoint. They are a person now. They are full-blown in the toddler years. They have will. They are starting to understand that they can get what they want. Things don't just need to be offered to them while they wait. And this is going to shine its light and shine through your beautiful toddlers at all times of the day. You might start to see some tantrums crop up. You might start to see some refusal from them. And it really is the time when it's good if you have a partner to sit down together and talk about what your parenting goals are together and how you want to parent in these moments. This is going to be the biggest behavior change that you see in the toddler years, and I don't want it to spill over to things like sleep, which they still need so much of at this young age. What types of behavior might you be seeing at this age? Number 1, refusal to go to bed. They just want to keep playing. They don't want to go to bed, okay? Normal. It doesn't mean that we have to comply with them. We can still hold our boundary and say, no, you need to go to bed. Another big behavior we see at this age, requesting multiple things, multiple times. Toddlers are masters of negotiation and stalling, and they will do whatever it takes to get an extra 5 minutes out of you. They want to be up all night partying and don't care that they've requested the same book 17 times. They just want to spend more time with you. These are the 2 biggest behaviors that I see at the front end of their sleep at bedtime that you may have never experienced before. You may have had a solid sleeper and all of a sudden they hit these toddler years and you wonder, like, this used to be so easy. I used to plop them in the crib and go, and now all of a sudden they're requesting so much stuff. And what do I do about it? This might also start to carry over to your overnight sleep. You may have had a really solid sleeper overnight, not struggling with overnight wakings, and all of a sudden they're up in the middle of the night requesting water, they want a blanket, I need a tissue, where is mommy? And what makes it hard, these night wakings at this age, is that they probably have a good amount of words that they're using. So it's no longer them just crying, they're actually saying mama, dada. And that can be alarming and also heartbreaking when they're looking for you in the middle of the night for apparently no reason. What I want to empower you with the knowledge of is that it is okay to say no. It is okay to tell your toddler no more. You are the parent and you are allowed to hold a boundary. We do not have to comply with every single one of our children's requests, and we can do that in a loving, kind, fair, and supportive way without causing any yelling or any further tantrums or more crying than we need to see necessarily. The best way to do this, like I mentioned before, is to find a plan for your behavior management and make sure you're implementing that at all times of the day. Because if we're giving in at breakfast time and maybe sometimes after we pick up from daycare, but then we really want to hold our boundary at bedtime, we're going to see more protest. Our children respond when they are taught consistently, and we want to make sure that we're providing them with that consistent teaching environment to know what to expect from their parents when they are pushing our boundaries. This entails really nothing fancy, no crazy extra techniques or strategies. It's just continue what your bedtime routine used to be. If it was read a book and put your baby in the crib, you read a book and you put your baby in the crib. If they ask for one more book and you're okay with one more book, you want to start out at the beginning of the routine setting your expectations. You pick 2 books. When the books are done, we are all done. You maybe have them actually take them out from the bookshelf and we put them back. No more books. It doesn't mean that it's going to stop their request or prevent them from tantruming or crying because we're saying no. It just means that they know what to expect, and they will eventually feel really safe and secure, understanding that the expectation is the same no matter what. Keeping in mind that we are still providing them with that touch time, right? We are providing them with lots of one-on-one quality time with them before their sleep, and we're giving them enough attention throughout our day to make sure that that tank is full. We want their attention tank totally full so that they're not requesting it all of the time at bedtime. This also makes it easier as parents to know that we've done everything we could during the daytime in order to walk away more easily when they are throwing a tantrum, should they be requesting multiple things at night. And then from there, you just continue to go about your routine as you usually do. You put your baby in the crib, and if they are protesting, and you have already previously sleep trained, you can use something like time checks to go back and forth to check on them and reassure them that you are there to support them, but it is their job to sleep. Or you can choose to stay in the room with them until they fall asleep without them in your arms. I don't want that to become a new sleep association. Whatever you feel comfortable with as a parent that's going to get the message across that we are having a boundary, sleep is our priority. I know you don't understand the importance of it, but mom and dad do, and this is what we choose as a family. How long will this regression last? It really depends on how global your behavior management strategy is. So if you're managing behaviors throughout your day in the same consistent way as you are at bedtime, then the regression will probably be shorter. They're going to pick up on the boundary setting, they're going to pick up on your consistent response, and they may not push as much. You may see that it is resolved in about 1 to 2 weeks. If there is some inconsistency, or if it's really hard to put these new rules into place, it could take a little bit longer. If your child is struggling for more than a month though, that's when I want you to reach out for help. More than a month of sleep deprivation for anyone is way too much. There's a time and place for it in the newborn phase. It is not belonging in the toddler phase. You need sleep, and so does your rapidly growing and developing toddler. Reach out to a certified pediatric sleep expert like myself. Head over to my website, yoursandbabysleep.com, to find out more information about my group coaching as well as my one-on-one coaching. coaching packages. And if you have any questions about what that looks like or any more strategies for the 18-month sleep regression, I'd love for you to leave them in the comments. I love interacting with you. As you scroll down there, be sure to give the video a like so I know that this was helpful for you, and subscribe if you already haven't to be the first to know about my latest and greatest sleep tips. As always, from my living room to yours, thank you so much for joining me today, and sweet dreams.